Welcome to the Trinsic Monthly AI Video Briefing. I am Art Powell, CEO of Trinsic Technologies. 30 years in IT gives you a pretty good radar for when something is real and when it's noise. AI is both, and I'm here to help you tell the difference. What we're going to discuss this month is some of the top AI news that we feel is important, but most importantly, why we're doing this monthly newsletter is to give you clarity and not hype. AI has real implications for the SMB market or for any business, but there's a lot of hype surrounding by it. You can't ignore AI, but you also got to be really careful about how you implement it. And you also have to be really careful about all the hype. And so I want to start with something that I've been saying publicly for some time now. There is no easy AI button. I entered the workforce in the 1980s and 90s, late 80s and 90s, and was almost immediately got involved in technology. I helped set up a lot of the original systems. And during the 80s and 90s tech explosion, it was an exciting time. But I clearly remember all the promises that were made during that time. Promises like all diseases would be eradicated because we would be able to map the human genome. Well, we did map the human genome, but guess what? We haven't eradicated all the diseases. We were also told that technology would eradicate poverty and it would make goods cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And for one brief, glorious moment, from the early 90s to probably the late 90s, that actually happened. Things got cheaper and cheaper. Services got cheaper. But long term, all of you are painfully aware of how that played out. We were also told that free information would bring down dictators and that they could no longer control the flow of information. And so therefore, they could not stay in power. Well, instead, we got Facebook, X, and government censorship. What we saw in the 1980s and 90s was an unlimited potential in technology. And what we got was social media and surveillance. Now, obviously, there were some very good benefits from technology, and there have been. So I love technology. I've been in the industry, like I said, for over 30 years. So, but the problem is not with the technology. The problem is a human problem. Technology doesn't fail on its own. Humans fail with it. Human beings are broken, we're messy, and we find ways to use technology, unfortunately, to hurt others. We also can't help but set unrealistic expectation. Every new wave, Web 2.0, the cloud, every new wave of technology brings with it a huge set of expectations and hype, which is rarely met. This is happening with AI. We don't even really have true AGI right now. What we have is assisted intelligence. That's what I call it, not true artificial intelligence. It's a mimic. It's a powerful mimic. It's a very powerful mimic, and you can do some powerful things with it, but it's not AGI. So while AI will absolutely change industries, while AI will absolutely affect the way we do business and the way we operate, that part is real. That part is not going away. Just as computers and the internet and the cloud and Web 2.0, just as those things change the way we do business, change the way we operate, so will AI. So I'm not here to tell you AI is not real. It is. I'm not here to tell you that AI is not going to make an impact on your industry. It's definitely going to make an impact on your industry. But there's no shortcut. AI has to be embedded thoughtfully into existing technology and workforce structures. Back in the 1980s and late 80s and early 90s, when computers started hitting the work environment, you couldn't just take a PC and just set it there and say, okay, we're integrated. You had to find a way to get the data into the computer. You had to find a way to get the data. And then once it did the processing, most everything else at that time was still manual. We used paper, if you can imagine that. And so that's why we had these cursed things, still do, but they're going away, thankfully, these cursed things called printers. And so if you've never seen the movie Office Space and the printer scene, look it up. Every IT person who'd ever worked on printers in the 90s and 2000s loves that scene. But printers were there because you had to print the information out to be able to integrate it into the existing paper system and manual systems that live today. AI is exactly the same. We're in the exact same space with AI. You can't, they're trying to make AI like the 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 end all to be all, instead of taking the AI and actually integrating it with existing systems to get far better results. And let me give you an example. We built a product called Call Sniper. What it does, callsniper.ai, you can check it out. And we built it just to demonstrate what this looks like. Call Sniper is powerful because we're getting 95 to 98% accuracy in identifying bad calls and TAS and call centers. Now, the reason why we're able to do that is because we're not just using AI exclusively AI. We are before AI, Call Sniper is not doable. We had to have AI to be able to do Call Sniper. But if we only relied on AI, then we don't get the results, the 95 to 98%. The problem with the way that some people are trying to push AI is they're trying to make the AI the whole car. The AI is not the whole car. Maybe it will be someday. It's not going to be with the current LLM models. AI is an engine. It's a new engine you can put in the car, and it's a powerful engine. It's a wonderful engine, but it's not the whole car. So the takeaway to all this is that the competitive advantage goes to companies who integrate AI deliberately, not reactively. They use forethought and planning and integration into the stack. They take their existing processes and they begin to automate some of them with AI in ways that make actual sense. And that means there's no easy button. The easy button seekers are going to be disappointed, and they're already getting disappointed. But the careful builders, just like the careful builders of the 90s and the 2000s, they're the ones who are going to win the long race. Now, let's look at what happened in AI, in the AI world in March, because the news actually backs this up in some really interesting ways. The AI world is telling on itself. A Stanford study found that AI chatbots are designed to flatter you. They validate decisions rather than challenging you. Research shows this makes users more self-centered and less accountable over time. This is especially dangerous in customer communication, hiring decisions, and financial analysis. AI, instead of challenging our default belief systems that may be wrong, challenging our a priori conclusions, or giving us the data that can help challenge those, will actually reinforce them. And this is this is really problematic. Because AI is telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And for a business owner, that's dangerous. If AI is agreeing with everything, then who's doing the thinking? One of the things I love about our company culture is people challenge me constantly on the way I'm thinking, and is what I'm thinking really real or true, or is it really going to play out the way I think it's going to play out? And if everybody in the company just agreed with me and nobody challenged me, then we wouldn't be the healthy company we are, profitable and growing. And so it's real important that AI, you need to understand that AI is not going to do that. But why? Because the way it's trained with positive reinforcement, it's trained to try to make you happy. And this runs into problems. The other problem they're having with AI is the whole financial model of the public LLMs. OpenAI is the most funded AI company on the planet, but they killed Sora, the video generation, after just 1 year. It was high cost with zero adaptation. They also reversed a $1 billion Disney deal and reshuffled the leadership. This isn't a knock on AI. Again, AI is powerful, but it's proof that implementation is hard and getting a return on the investment is even more difficult. And if OpenAI can't find the easy button with billions in the bank and the world's best AI team, what does that tell you? AI is difficult. It's not the easiest thing in the world to implement. Now, one of the most dangerous aspects of AI, which has been getting a lot of press lately, is cybersecurity and how AI is challenging both sides of that. At an RSA conference in 2026, Google's Cisco team confirmed AI is now being used by hackers to attack faster and smarter and to do more damage. It's also being used defensively by companies. But the gap between the protected and unprotected organization is widening fast. Companies whose data lives in public AI environments are expanding their attack surface without even realizing it. If you're just pumping all your data and your AI, all your data, your private data, your customer data, and others up to public LLMs, you could be running into problems. One, you may be in a regulated industry, and this may not be a good idea. The second thing is you really have to be very cautious about your data, particularly now that the hackers are using AI to look for zero-day exploits that are unknown and other ways to get into your system. There was the healthcare IT firm CareCloud was breached in March. Electronic health records breached included an 8-hour outage. Patient data was stolen, and healthcare is going to be a prime target with this stuff. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you have sensitive patient or employee data or client data, you're a target. It's that simple. And AI is getting a lot of focus, and unfortunately, some of that focus is taking away from the fact that cybersecurity is still a real threat, and AI with cybersecurity is making this more difficult. Even the FBI director's email was hacked recently. The Iranian hackers breached FBI Director Kash Patel's personal Gmail. Wasn't his government account. However, they went through a side door, and personal accounts that connect to company tools or communications are a real gap. And this shows you how you can't ignore basic cybersecurity protocols, because if you do, AI, first of all, just traditional hackers can make a mess of that. But now with AI, it's going to get worse. And if it can happen to the FBI director, it can happen to your CFO. Attackers always go for the weakest link. I'm not picking on CFOs, okay? I've seen CEOs get hacked. I had someone hack my Facebook account. I don't keep any company data or anything sensitive on there, so it wasn't a big deal. But here I had to go and implement 2FA on my Facebook account just because someone took the time to hack it. It was ridiculous. But be aware of this, all this focus on AI, and now they're starting to realize, and lately in the news, there's been a lot of news about AI and security and how AI is being used to breach security. So keep this in mind as time goes on. The other big story was an AI boss poll that was taken. Only 15% of Americans would work for an AI manager. 85% still want a human being. Companies like Amazon and Workday are already using AI-driven management processes. This is a recipe for disaster. Your team is watching what you do with AI. I think it was. We'll find the data and put it down on the link in the video. But it was either an MIT or Harvard study found in 2025 that over 70% of AI integration projects were failing, and they cited two reasons. Number one is companies were asking the AI to do things it wasn't really meant to do, and number two is they were not involving the employees of the company. What you do with AI and how you position it in your company is going to be very important for your employee culture. AI should make your team more capable, not make them feel replaceable. The companies that win are the ones that use AI to empower their people to be able to make their work easier, to make their work more important, and to focus on the important things. If you come in with this idea with your employees, like, hey, and they get this idea like, hey, they're doing this to train the AI to replace us, which, by the way, is not even doable at this point, then that is not going to go well. Here's the bottom line. AI is real and it's powerful and it's not going away, but there's no easy button for it. The businesses that win will approach it with intention, the right tools, right integration, and the right team. Trinsic technology exists to help SMBs do exactly that without sacrificing control of your data. If you're thinking about private AI hosting, cloud infrastructure, or just want to talk through what AI could look like for your business without the hype, reach out to us at sales@trinsictech.com. That's sales@trinsictech.com. We'd love to have that conversation. Thank you so much for watching. I do have a monthly blog on this that will have a link in the description. We also want to encourage you to sign up for our monthly newsletter that's going to be full of this information with the links and everything to it. Again, you can sign up in the link there's a link or an email address for that in the description. And we're going to see you next month where we're going to talk about AI and productivity and how do you get an actual ROI on AI. Have a good month.